let's first say, I know I take it for granted sometimes. Once I wake up, like it's automatic. Even with back pain and whatever I'm dealing with, it's not so prominent. Thinking about your fellow man or someone else's situation that isn't moving and grooving like you are, isn't cognizant as you are. They'll never be able to drive or have children. Just see. Some people can't see. Some people can't hear. We take it for granted. And yes, I'm speaking for other people because I know it. Once that alarm clock or whatever goes off, so a lot of you, once that alarm or that notification hits and that attention-seeking part happens in your day, that's really what should be for a lot of y'all. But let's be more mindful, let's be more thankful. And I understand that it's hard, I understand that it's tough, I understand that it's not going the way, we might want it to go at all. Not even a little bit, but just giving up completely and going after, and I'm talking to males and females, and I'll stand it on this, that I will ask to have so-called street niggas, gang members, gangsters, thugs, social misfits come out and speak live and have an open conversation on what your purpose is and what you stand for in the community. What's your purpose? Who are you? What do you contribute to anything? Do you help with anything or do you hurt more? And if you're hurting more, can we just eliminate that position? Because it's not serving any purpose. We need counselors, we need football coaches, we need mentors, we need individuals to cut some grass, to weld something, to fix something, to build something, to manufacture something. Sitting around here wanting to make more money than a decent man, that you end up serving crack cocaine or heroin or meth, any of this shit, man. You taking the nigga who get up and go to work, the male or female, get up and go to work hard, work for their money, and take hours upon hours upon hours and skill set to make. You take the money to satisfy their fix, and you get hand over fist money. You give nothing back to the community. You don't even say, nigga, I do this for a year and then I help everybody out. They help me. I just need to get on my feet. No, ain't no right way of describing you selling crack rock. You're not gonna justify that to me. So I want to stand with and sit with women who are sex workers, strippers, just your regular everyday hoes that's not getting paid, the ones just fast ass women, especially with children, especially with nieces and other, people that look up to you, and the entertainer ones all the way down to the bitch up the street that was just in Publix with 2 children with the see-through tights with some boy shorts, ass fat as a goddamn pumpkin in October. You know what I'm talking about? And that's just normal wear. Everybody else had that like they ain't see it. But that ass is this big. How you not gonna see it? It's see-through pants. It's boy shorts, so everything is cuffed and presented in a certain type of way. Just is what it is. They get into it.
Falling for I went through a 304 phase. There's no such thing. That is who she is. Even if it's deep down, that is who she is.
So it's been a year since I started my OF and my spicy pages, and I just feel super anxious today, and I wanted to just come on here and share some thoughts on my experience so far. I'm kind of scared to share my actual thoughts, but I just feel the need to say them in case anybody who's following me here has any sort of desire to start this kind of thing. I want to start off by saying that I definitely have a really complicated relationship with this whole thing. And there are things that I appreciate about it and have appreciated about it from the beginning. But if I'm being so honest, there really are so many downsides. I'm trying so hard not to get like super upset while sharing this, but if I'm being honest, my mental health since I've started this has just slowly like been on such a decline. And I would say that it started maybe like,
You know what I'm saying again? I understand that it's hard. I understand that times are tough. I understand that inflation has went up and they're not looking after the everyday hard-working people. I'm in that situation. I can get up and go to work every day out the week. It still won't be enough. So yeah, I get to thinking about other shit of making money. But I'm not gonna lie, I have to die on that cross, die on that sword of, I said a long time ago, there's certain shit I don't do for money. I'm not hurting people for money. I'm not doing no gas shit for no money. I'm not swindling for no money. You know what I mean? I'm not doing none of that questionable ass get rich quick schemey shit. I need something that's gonna sell over and over again like a bag of Lay's chips. That's gonna keep selling, man. Whether they push a commercial for that bitch like a Coca-Cola, you either drink Coca-Cola or you drink Pepsi, and the different variations of such brand. You ain't gotta keep pushing it once it's understood. So I say that to my women who sell their body for a piece of money and don't understand the OJ said for the love of money. Niggas will do all type of weirdo shit, man. And this is a part of it. Ain't nobody parent taught them to be a sex worker. Give a fuck how much entertainment you get out of it, how I've gotten out of it. It's still somebody's child. I can't. So everything went straight, but you ended up a porn star. Parents are always at the PTA meetings. You never grew up watching your mama get beat on. It was loving, caring, supporting each other. Always at PTA meetings. Always supporting you at school and your scholastic endeavors or otherwise. And you trying to tell me you went through all that, got all them good grades, valedictorian, a perfect attendance and all that shit in all the classes just to be a porn star. We could have been stopped doing all this shit, putting all these miles on the car. You got more miles on you than the car do. We done had this since you was 13, but anywho.
like honestly, probably 7 months ago, where about like maybe 6 months into doing this, yeah, about 6 months, I started to get super burnt out. And I think a lot of the people who follow me now on this page are like you've probably come from like much older videos, with the spicy page or OF like sort of being the topic. And while I did have such a strong start and it was so much fun in the beginning,
So much fun.
after getting burnt out, I started to just feel really differently about like the types of messages that I was getting.
Oh yeah.
And
They was talking that freaky shit. You
just-
wasn't ready for that, were you?
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, just
You suck my balls
feeling like
from the back.
sort of the effort that I was putting
Let
in
me put my finger in your ass.
to it still wasn't. I guess I'm trying to say there's no amount of money really that you can give me
Right.
at this point, and I'm like willing to admit this now. There's no amount of money that you can give me right now to like make me feel like giving myself away in certain aspects, even if they're just a few photos or whatever online. It
Right.
almost isn't worth it anymore.
Almost
It's hard to
isn't worth
describe
that
this
fucking
because
money,
I
boy.
realize that when I have spoken about
That money is
OF,
something else.
that, you know, it's typically been in a light where it's like, you know, it's fun, it's art, you make money, blah blah blah. But if I'm being so honest, that really is like the only upside to doing it. Like just the ability to very quickly make extra cash. But I think again, like just over the course of a few months, of like half a year or so, just going really hard at it. I think I didn't let a lot of like the messages get to me.
Going really hard
But-
at it. What did you do?
I was lying to myself, and I
What are you
definitely think
doing
that it's like
going hard?
really borne on me over time. And it's not to say that I don't have like really good guys on there following me and like monetarily supporting me, even like checking in on me at times where I like, you know, earlier this year I definitely disappeared for a few months, even on here. But even with that, like just realizing that even those people
Niggas will
are
even
not
check
people
on
that
the
I
whole
would call when I'm
man.
having a really
They
hard
won't
day.
check on their fellow man or their
Just
mama
makes it
or
feel
niggas
just so
checking on
fake.
hoes.
And I'm not sitting here saying that like I ever got on there to make friends. Let's be honest, it's really just to make money from a bunch of horny men.
Suckers.
But I guess I'm just trying to say that
Trying to
just
make
know
money
that
off
if you
bunch
are a
of
person
horny
who's ever
niggas.
been interested in
God
doing
damn.
this, or if you've like ever been curious about it, there really is just like such a like I feel a little bit dead inside. I feel completely desensitized. But I think with this line of work, men, you really
You said you feel
you will
dead
never
inside.
catch a man being more honest and more authentic and more real, and not necessarily in a good way, than they are, and the way that they present themselves to girls who do stuff that I do.
You see, here's the thing she's really trying to discount
Come on,
and underplay.
come on.
She chose to make herself into a object. She chose to make herself into a product. When you buy something, it becomes transactional. So now she's coming to the realization that
They don't care
men are
about me.
seeing her as something that is purely transactional. And they see her as something that's simply that they bought and that they
They do whatever
expect to
they
get
want
their
with it.
money's worth from it, and whatever level that in particular man deems it as. And that's not to say that's right, but it's just to
It is
say
what it
when you
is.
make yourself into a product, there's always going to be some people who think they have a right and they're justified in their right to be able to treat you like a product and treat you like an object and not as a person.
I can't even imagine what it's actually like for real life SWs. Like, I'm sure it's like 50,000 times worse for them. Like, at least to a certain extent, there's like a level of protection for me, just given that I'm like behind a screen, right? Like, I'm never actually gonna like see these guys in person or anything like that. But like, seriously,
think.
if I had any type of ability to share like the things that people have said, like the things that people have like the nerve to like DM me with, just like how disgusting they are. And also, I can't even count to you how many times the ones who follow me on Instagram, like when I get curious and nosy, sometimes like I'll go look at their profile and they have like a whole girlfriend or a whole wife, and sometimes even disgustingly enough they have kids. Sometimes it makes me feel so conflicted with doing this.
See, here's the thing. As the dealer,
Makes you.
you don't get to criticize the user for their
wow.
disgusting behavior
That is
because you're the one who's
you
giving
set
them
it
an
up.
outlet to be disgusting.
Get 'em up,
That's like
get
the drug
off
dealer
there.
who's selling and destroying their community, selling crack, selling deadly drugs, then sitting there and judging the user, talk about how disgusting and how repulsive these people are for
Wow.
using drugs,
I was just
even though you're the one who's selling it to them. Because only choosing to view these men who have girlfriends, wives, kids, and labeling them as disgusting while never really turning the mirror on yourself and recognizing just how
Get
disgusting
off.
you are for being
Go
a
do
willful
something else
participant
that make you money.
just shows that you're exhibiting a level of hypocrisy
But you won't.
and lack of accountability where you're choosing to ignore the actual entire storyline.
And a part of me just feels so prideful. I feel like yes, it's been a year, not like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but I do still feel like I'm still so deep in it. And I think I'm just being prideful, but I just feel like, and I just don't want to quit because I'm just not a quitter. Like, I always see things like to the very end, and I won't quit until I'm physically.
No,
What the
man,
fuck
no.
is going on, bro? This bitch thinks she working hard.
This
and selling
is, she's
ass
talking about this as if
or pictures
it's something
or
courageous
fucking
or
on
something
camera,
noble,
whatever the fuck
something
she's
that's
doing.
having a positive and rewarding outcome in her life. When she's already stated that is having the opposite. It's having a negative effect on her life. It's causing harm to her life. It's causing her to have mental health issues. But yet she's speaking about it as if she's doing something so triumphant
Like she a nurse
that she just needs to kind of
saving
fight through in
children.
order to come out on the other end and be better because of it. That's like the alcoholic who knows they need to get sober saying, you know, I would stop drinking, but I'm not a quitter.
Basically stopped. So I don't know what the point of this rant was, or if I'll even post it,
What?
but I think I just wanted like just to share my thoughts out loud, because I'm like in this really weird point in my life. Being like my one creative outlet to like, or so I thought, to like express myself and like produce this work that like, you know, I'm really proud of. I do take a lot of time to go like rent these spaces and like get like certain types of outfits and like our lingerie really, and like do these shoots and like post them, and like editing is like a whole process, and like there are lots of parts that I enjoy, but I think what ruins it is like when I really sit down to think about like ultimately like what the purpose of all this is, and it's really just to visually please a bunch of men who, again, a lot of them are disgusting. I think I wanted to share all this because I've just been switching up a lot of sort of my direction with my Instagram, and like I don't really post like spicy page related stuff on.
You know what? I'm willing to bet the wall is approaching. The wall is fast approaching, and that's part of the reason why this feeling is starting to overcome. You hear it in a lot of different ways. The word jujitsu of trying to make it sound a little bit sweeter than what it is, that the wall is approaching, and for the very first time in life, she's coming to the realization that
Man, fuck that motherfucker, man.
Here I go again on my
Today we're going to be reacted to. The first woman explains that black women have pushed away their protection. The second video is going to be a woman explaining how her mom has prevented her from getting a date based off of how she was raised. And the third video is going to be a woman explaining how come relationships are not like they were in high school. It seems like after high school, it's hard to find love. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notifications button so you can get the videos as soon as I put them out. And if you're part of Sigma Nation, just go ahead and leave a comment for the algorithm.
Equal opportunities, equal access to jobs, to pay, to positions of power, things of that nature. Men and women are essentially to be put on equal. Black women are rarely talked about, however, is the fact that, so we've all heard by now the common complaint that black women as a collective are not being protected by their men. Now, what is rarely talked about, however, is the fact that we as black women actually voted their protection away. Now, what do I mean by this? Black women are the most feminist. By and large, we overwhelmingly vote for feminist policies, and under a feminist framework, men and women are equal. They should have, equal opportunities, equal access to jobs, to pay, to positions of power, things of that nature. Men and women are essentially to be put on an equal framework. Now, under that, why would you need protection from somebody that you are equal to? Why would you need protection to somebody who is essentially equivalent to you? That will be considered misogynist. That will be considered disrespectful to a woman's ability to maintain and protect herself. And so we have to be honest about the fact that this is the kind of culture or framework that we did create. And now, fast forward decades later, where things are a lot more feminist than ever, and women do have a lot of opportunities, and they are put in positions to compete with men. Now it creates this complicated framework in relationships. But here is the bigger picture. The reason that we are not protected as black women is because we voted that we didn't need protection. By by coming into agreement with some of those different laws, and by again putting us in positions to be more and more equal or equivalent standing with men, we in essence said we're the same. We are able, we are just as capable of doing all these things. And so again, I ask you the question, If you are able or capable, why then ask for protection from the very men that you are equal to? And this is why, under this framework, this is why, under the current structure, we cannot expect for a community or collective of Black women that we have essentially said that we are just as equal to. We can't expect them to now operate under a traditional framework. We are now under a modern setup. You know, apart from maybe a husband or a family or maybe a close-knit community, that community framework that we're looking for, it doesn't really work or operate under this, you know, capitalistic, individualistic, feminist structure that we currently have today. And I think this is just something that we're gonna have to reckon with.
And believe it or not, this is what men have been saying for a very long time. It is okay for you to work a job, but what has happened is life has made you a competitor to men to the point where you feel like you don't need a man for anything, but yet you turn around and ask for protection. When it comes to Black women, you have to understand, nobody looks at you as being weak. Nobody looks at you as being vulnerable. There's not one single person on the planet that looks at a Black woman and says she needs to be protected, because you're looked at as the most strongest and dominant woman on the planet. Regardless of how you feel inside, that's the truth. When you stop and look at how people are viewing you, the Black man is trying to tell you that when he tries to love you, you are belittling him. You're making him feel less of a man because of your competitive nature. Why am I saying this? A Black man thinks that a Black woman is the most beautiful woman in the world. Other cultures of women only look good through their submissiveness, not necessarily how they look physically. But what confuses the Black man is that he wants to love you so much, but you put up such a wall that blocks him.
This bitch going haywire over there on somebody on the phone.
Down and belittles him, but then when you get lonely, you want to say, we need to be protected. From who? Who's trying to hurt you? Nobody. You're doing more hurting.
People can hear this hoe.
Or hurting of yourself, because the men that were supposed to protect you, that are trying to protect you, you push them away. Now get in the comments and let me know exactly how you feel about this. Let's get to these comments and see what they had to say. Jason says, pro-Black man, equal means equal. I can't risk it when it's so many Miss Astronauts out there. I could have had that wrong. Uncommon Gentleman says 50-50 on bills, please. By the way, mortgage is due 2 days on the 1st, my G. LGO says there is a strange noise in the house. Honey, it's your turn to check it out. BP, 100% facts. That's why when I hear a woman say she's okay, I respect it. That means I'm going to ditch on a date. This is exactly how men feel. Men feel like women have become modern day men. So when they are in a relationship with a woman, they're not feeling like the man that they want to feel in a relationship.
Realize that men don't care about status and money.
After I got out of college
After you got out
and
of
was
college?
telling people about my degree, and they was like, so what? Who gives a fuck? Man.
Would you say feminism lied to you about what men find attractive? Because feminism tells women make money, get a status, men are going to be attracted to
I
that.
would say that, and I would also say like how I was raised. I was raised by an independent, strong, tough Black woman. So now that I'm in my 30s, I'm learning to sit in my soft girl era, in my femininity, and it's tough to have those conversations with your mom. Like, you taught me to be like a strong, independent Black woman, and nobody wants that.
Ooh, wow.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah, I like
That's
it.
true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah, I like
That's
it.
true.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to agree. I think most black guys that may have a sister, you're seeing this with your sister, that she's a dominant baby mother, just like your mom. The cycle continues to go because older women are the ones telling the younger women, live your life, do this. You don't need a man. You don't want to go through that. And the reason why they're doing that is because back in the day, women were very vulnerable. They were desperate. And then they got with these guys. And when they got their heart broken, then they turn around and tell the younger girls, hey, you need to live your life. Example, in my life, my grandmother had 11 kids, and one day my granddad decided to get up and leave my grandmother with 11 kids while he ran off to be a drunk and drunk himself into a death pool. I've seen that even with the cycle with my mother. We've been through some situations with stepdaddies, and that was a lot of, trauma there. But in life, I see why the older black women tell the younger black women to just do their own thing. The thing is, you don't teach those women how to work together with black men. I've always said black men are taught to be simps and black women are taught to be the dominant ones, but it offset each other whenever it comes to relationship because he's trying to love something that hasn't been taught to be loved. It's just been taught to stay in survival mode. Get in the comments and let me know what you think about this. In these comments, we have Carl R2 says, she seems secure about it too, which means it makes her attractive. There is hope for her. April the Gemini says, yeah, the more I talk about my career, the more the conversation is like, ooh, you don't have time for me. Mr. Lee says, I honestly rather have a woman without a degree that's down to put together and make it out there. Life is hard solo, no need to be tough alone. The way I see it is somebody got to have a dream. A relationship is only going to work when both sides can come together and create their own life and have their own dreams that they're going to have as a couple. But it's hard to do that in modern day relationships because two kings can't run the same kingdom. And that's what's happening here. Women want their own kingdom and a man wants his own kingdom, which is why you see a lot of women, especially black women, they're not afraid to be baby moms and have 3 or 4 kids. They'll still have a house. They'll still wake up and go to work every single day and act as if they can do it on their own. But at night, they're crying themselves to sleep because they have no one to share the burden with.
Okay, is it me or am I the only one that hasn't been in a full-blown, grown, healthy, solid, happy relationship since high school, bro? Like, since high school. Like, what's going on? What's going on in these streets?
The reason why most girls after high school, you're going to have a hard time finding a man to be with or be in a relationship with a man is due to the fact of brainwashing. See, in high school, when everybody's at home and still living at home with their parents, it's all cute. But when you start getting out here, you start paying bills, you start traveling, you start going around the world, you start getting some experiences, life is totally different than the household that you grew up in. So as this woman comes outside of her household and she's going into the world, what she's not realizing is, just from the outside looking in, she looked like she for the streets. A lot of these girls are too masculine. She got tattoos all over the place. She got fake eyelashes, fake makeup. Women are looking like fake people, and men don't necessarily want to be in a relationship with a fake woman anymore. The world is so fake that men are waking up the fastest. So the faster men wake up, the more they're looking for something real. All the fake stuff is pretty much for the simps that are online. You get in the comments and let me know what you think. Let's see what they had to say in these comments. Telly Flea says, it all started with R&B change. I agree. R&B used to be good, but then we went into a depressing side of R&B. Shakur Green says, I never been in a one healthy relationship. I wonder what it's like. Team DJ says, I'm 27 and I've never been in a real happy or solid relationship ever. Wow. Costello Devon says, in high school, we were kids and had no care in the world. We naturally ignored the BS. I have to agree with them. You are going to naturally ignore the BS due to the simple fact that you don't have any bills. You don't really have a life set. Your mother and your parents are giving you the life that you think you're supposed to live. Thank you for watching Anthony Spade Reactions. If you want more reaction videos, make sure you click on the links below in the description and watch my other videos. But also check me out on my second channel, Life with Anthony Spade, so you can watch more.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face for the ultimate Gillette shave.
Want what 72% of mothers in this country work full or part-time.
And I would be willing to work from home, and
Working from home is a luxury that most women don't get. That's bullshit.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Respond to Reality. Today we are going to be reacting to a Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
How old are you?
Yeah. I'm 30.
All right, how many kids you got?
I don't have any children.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
Dress size?
Like a size 0.
Huh? 0?
Yeah.
Is that your hair? Or is that like
Yes.
a poof? All right, so tell me, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? You know, the whole spiel.
Yeah, I want to get married. I want to start a family, and I just want to do it under the right circumstances.
What does that mean?
I want to do it with a partner who has, enough resources to provide for me and the children.
What do you mean a partner? You're a wife, you're not a partner.
Okay, a husband.
I mean, are you looking on YouTube?
No, I'm not looking on YouTube.
All right, so did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college, graduated.
All right, so what was the longest relationship you've had?
2.5 years.
5 years?
I said 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and why didn't that work?
My boyfriend at the time was more marriage-minded than I was.
Oh.
Red flag.
Yeah.
So he wanted to get married and you were just,
He was looking for a wife, and
So what the hell were you supposed to be? What were your goals? See, that's a red flag already. Because, I mean, you're dating another man to what end or with what intention? If that was never the intention, why were you with him? Red flag.
and he was really particular about the qualities that that person should possess, or that woman should possess.
Such as?
He wanted to be served first. When we would cook together, he wanted sex on demand. But at the time,
Okay, hold on. He wanted to be served first. He wanted sex on demand. And what's wrong with that?
Listen, it's not that I didn't have a problem. It's just I wasn't necessarily getting much in exchange.
You weren't getting much in exchange?
Yeah.
Oh.
Other than the opportunity
Hold
to
on.
serve a man.
Hold on. You picked him though, right?
I did pick him.
Oh, okay. You were involved with him for how many years?
2.5.
Okay. So why did you stay after the first time he asked you to serve him? Since he was such a deadbeat bum who didn't deserve a meal to be served to him.
I don't know if I said that he was a deadbeat bum.
Well, he wasn't all that. I mean, because all he asked to do was to be served, and then to have sex on demand. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If he wasn't my question is this: if he wasn't worth doing that for, why did you stay past that day?
I stayed past that day because I wanted to be in a relationship with him.
Why?
And I was hoping things would work out.
Why?
No.
Yeah.
No. We're not doing that. We're not gonna do that. She's sitting there trying to make it seem like he provided nothing, he didn't do anything, and the simple fact that he wanted to be served and that he wanted sex on demand, she felt like she wasn't getting much in return. See, when women do certain things like that, they look at it as a value-loaded exchange. So normally a man will look at sex as, okay, we're both having it. A woman is looking at it like, I'm giving away $1 million right now, and I'm expecting.
Let's take it inside, guys.
which is very strange. Just the basic necessities, right? The basic things in life. She's looking at like, no, I need a huge return on this. What Kevin should honestly ask right now is, well, what did you expect in return for that? Yeah, just a couple of shopping sprees, and you know, I wanted this bag, and I think that would have been a fair exchange. Let's get out of here with that.
Because at the time, I felt like that was just a woman's role in a relationship.
No. Your boyfriend wanted you to serve him food and sex on demand. You did not want to do that, right?
It's not that I did not want to do those
Did you
things.
do it?
That's not what
Did
I
you
said.
do it?
I did, but I became resentful.
Okay, which meant he wasn't worth it. If he had $50 billion in the bank, would you have been resentful?
Absolutely.
If he didn't spend any of that on me, it's, you know.
All right, ma'am, you know that.
What the? See? Do you see that? For just a simple serving of a meal and sex with your girlfriend, she wants him to spend a lot of money in return for that.
Okay. Now we're getting there. All right, now we're getting there. You know the question I'm answering. You know the question I'm asking. But you want to slice it down to where you can always be right. Let's try this again. If he had $50 billion in the bank, would you have had a problem serving him and giving him sex on demand?
No, Kevin.
Of course you wouldn't. So you making that distinction was... All right. So, why'd you stay?
I stayed because at the time I thought that love was all that was really needed for a successful relationship.
Okay. But you loved him, just not enough to not be resentful of having to have sex with your boyfriend? I don't understand where this is. We're talking about having sex with your boyfriend. Why would you become resentful of having sex with your boyfriend and then serving him food?
I came resentful
Hold on. If you loved him.
Well, I think I became resentful because in that relationship, my needs were not being met.
Uh-huh. What does that mean? What needs weren't being met?
Well, I think provisions.
Yep.
Were you his wife?
You know, I was not his wife. I was his girlfriend.
Then you...
How much money did she expect? Let's just get to it.
Don't get provision. That's a wifely thing. Did he want to marry you? Did he want to marry you?
He didn't propose.
All right. So, as we go back, you were with the man that you stayed with him because you said you loved him, but then you resented him for doing basic stuff. And then, why stay for 2.5 years? Why not leave? That's the real kind of question, man, because what I'm trying to get to is, man, you picked the situation.
Correct.
All right. So.
And I think honestly, I thought it was the best that I could do.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you for finally answering the truth. A woman who finally said the truth. I was with this dude because this is the best I could get.
Wow.
Make me have to ask you 11 million questions, but that's it. This is the best I could do.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you do better now? Uh-oh.
Oh.
I mean, compared to my 25-year-old self.
Can you do better than this now? I'm just asking, can you do better?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Who are you seeing right now?
A gentleman who's 35, and he's a professor.
Professors aren't... Do you want to be a stay-at-home wife?
Ideally.
So that's a yes.
Yes.
So again, yes or no questions to get yes or no answers. How many kids do you want?
2.
Do professors make enough money to have a wife with 2 kids to stay at home?
Well, he's currently making around $215,000.
And what city or state?
Los Angeles.
That ain't shit. In Los Angeles, that's $100,000. It's $107,000 anywhere else. $215 is. There's a police sergeant. There's a police a 6-year police guy, L.A. 6 years, made $275,000 last year. A cop.
I said currently.
But my
I feel like
point
tenure
is,
track
no,
professors
listen, man.
or
My point
administrators-
is $215,000 is not enough in LA to afford a wife to stay at home with 2 kids. And professors are not fast track or exponential earners. He's making what he's going to pretty much make. It's not like a professor can say, I'm a first year professor, but in the 10th year, man, I'll be pulling down $1 million. No, he's going to be making 215. That money's not going to go much. Why don't you want to work?
I'd like to work from home if I had to work.
Yo, you're going to work. You're going to work. I mean,
Yo, she sounds like a succubus. I'm not gonna lie. Like someone just gonna take the energy out of you and make your days hard.
30 years old. You're not a young woman. You're going to work. You're in LA. You're going to work. And this is what I mean by these super high standards. I don't have to ask you where you rank. I already can tell that you really feel like you should be getting more than you are. But your life is showing you different.
Correct.
In LA, ma'am, do I have to go there?
No. I know exactly what you mean.
So
it's very competitive.
So why be resentful of because, I mean, this is what I understand. Why be resentful of a man who just wanted you to serve him some dinner and have sex with him?
I would not be resentful of that if I felt like in the future I would be able to have a relationship where I got to work from home and be provided
Exactly.
for.
Say it again. I would give you what you want if you can provide for me above the level of somebody on my level should get. That's what you basically said. I would give you basic service because just having sex with your boyfriend is basic as hell. And serving him first is just a matter of courtesy. But you're willing to do something basic and courteous if he could do something that's extraordinary.
Extraordinary. She also mentioned the fact that she wants a man to make sure that he's providing for her and she's able to work from home. Huh? And she wants an unfair deal.
Sitting your ass down in the house and not having to work. Yeah. This is a perfect example of a woman who wants a better deal than she brings.
I agree.
That's why I said, but why do you feel so entitled? Why do you feel like you should get that? I mean, I'm gonna ask the question, what's so special about you? Why should you get an elite level treatment?
I don't think I'm any more special than the next woman.
But you want more special than the next woman. You don't want what 72% of mothers in this country work full or part-time.
And I would be willing to work from home.
Working from home is a luxury that most women don't get. That's bullshit. Most people don't. 20% of people own businesses. 70 to 80% of people in this country work for somebody else. Why are you so special? Here's the question. What's your degree in?
Biology.
Name me a fucking biology company that you can work from home for. You didn't go to school to work from home.
No, I didn't. I'm currently working from home.
A biology major. You don't have a lab at home.
I don't.
I'm being funny, but I'm not being funny. And see, this is why so many of our sisters end up eternally unmarried. You know how many white women, or non-black women, who are biology majors, who are wives, who have jobs somewhere and are just happy to be with their man. And you're sitting up here talking about, I began to get resentful because he wanted me to have sex. Well, you'd have been happy if he'd have been having sex with somebody else instead of you? No. So he can't get it from you, and he wouldn't got it somewhere else, he couldn't get it. So there's a meal. Go get your own shit out of there, Negro. Okay. You're cuter than most. Your ass is up on your shoulders. That ain't gonna end up well, man. Attitude adjustment will be well deserved. Because you're in LA. LA, you are average cute. You know that. LA, one of the most competitive markets in the world. And there are women out there who have more on the ball, more on their resume, and far exceed your looks, who don't get what you're asking for.
Okay.
Best of luck.
And that's gonna be the ending of this video. This is very funny. But yeah, she's tripping. For the basic necessities, the basic standards, she wants a complete unfair deal. She wants to be able to work at home and be taken care of, and just do whatever she wants. And all she's simply gonna do is make sure that he gets served first, and then her boyfriend gets sex whenever she feels like it. But leave your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section down below. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. The Godfather's link will be in the description down below. Head over to his channel. Let's keep his name alive. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.